The Bad Boy Pistons were one of the most iconic teams in NBA history. Their core of Isiah Thomas, Rodman, Dumars and Bill Laimbeer brought a certain brand of toughness that had never been seen before, as it rubbed a lot of opponents the wrong way. Detroit used their trademark brand of basketball to stop Michael Jordan, as well as the Showtime Lakers en route to back-to-back titles in 1989 and 1990. In the early 80s though, the Pistons were a middle-of-the-pack team that were still recovering from the loss of their franchise legend Bob Lanier. They were very young and they took their lumps along the way to the top. But there was a player on those early teams that quickly set himself apart. Tripucka. Kelly was a 6'6" small forward who could score in bunches, as he had the ability to blow by slower defenders and post-up guards. After an amazing career at Notre Dame, he was drafted in 1981, becoming an all-star as a rookie. By his sophomore year, he was averaging 26 points a game. Although his career was hampered by injuries and clashes with coaches, he averaged 20 points in 5 out of his 10 seasons in the league. Although he didn't have a Hall of Fame career, he was without a doubt one of the best scorers in the league when he was on. Welcome to PC Hoops, and let's get down to it. Kelly grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey. His father, Frank, was a standout quarterback at Notre Dame, becoming an NFL first-round pick in 1949. Kelly played 3 years as a starter on varsity for Bloomfield High, scoring over 2,200 points, including over 1,000 in his senior year, leading to his jersey eventually being retired. When it came time to choose a college, it was a no-brainer to attend Notre Dame just like his dad. The Fighting Irish were loaded in 1977 as they had 6 future NBA players, most notably Bill Laimbeer and Orlando Woolridge. Although Kelly initially came off the bench as a freshman, he secured his starting spot with 15 points in the second half of a game against the defending national champions and #1 ranked Marquette, as they came back from 14 down to win 65-59. He finished his freshman season averaging 12 points and 5 rebounds on 57% shooting. The Irish finished 23-8 as their defense ranked in the top 50. They made the tournament facing Houston in the first round. They easily won by 23 as 5 players scored in double figures, including Kelly with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. The next round brought Utah, with their 3 stars Jeff Judkins, Danny Vrains, and Tom Chambers. Kelly led Notre Dame with 20 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals on 8 of 11 shooting as the Irish won by 13. The regional final brought Dan Corzine and DePaul, as Kelly had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in a 20-point win. Notre Dame made it to their first Final Four in school history as they faced the Duke Blue Devils, with their 3 top players Gene Banks, Jim Spanarkel, and Mike Gminski. The Irish lost by 4 as Kelly put up 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals, but he shot 5 for 17. Notre Dame faced Sidney Moncrief in Arkansas in the 3rd place game, but they lost by 2 as Kelly put up 10 points and 5 rebounds. Kelly was named to the All-Region team for his tournament performance. The Irish returned more than 60% of their scoring for the 1978 season. They were rolling as well, as they had 3 separate 5-game winning streaks and a 7-game winning streak, as they finished 24-6 with the 18th ranked defense in the nation. They even spent 4 weeks ranked #1 in the AP poll. Kelly established himself as the leader as a sophomore, averaging a team-leading 14 points a game along with 4 rebounds and 1.5 steals on 52% shooting. He would eventually be recognized as he was named a second-team All-American as the Irish clinched a #1 seed in their region for the tournament. They faced off against Reggie Johnson in Tennessee in the first game. The Irish won by 6 as Kelly put up 21 points and 3 rebounds on 6 of 7 shooting and 9 for 10 from the line. They got past Toledo next as Kelly put up 24 points and 4 rebounds on 8 of 12 shooting and 8 of 8 from the line. They faced a juggernaut Michigan State team in the Elite 8 as they had Magic Johnson and Greg Kelser. This duel was too much for Notre Dame as the Spartans won by 12. Kelly scored 8 points on 4 of 11 shooting, but he was named to the All-Region team again. In 1979, Bill Laimbeer left for the NBA, but the Irish recruited another future NBA player in Jim Paxson. Kelly raised his offensive game to another level as he averaged 18 points, good enough for 6th in the nation, with his highlight of the season being a 28-point performance in a double overtime win against top-ranked and 25-0 DePaul with their 2 stars Mark Aguirre and Terry Cummings. The Irish finished 22-6, earning a 4 seed in the tournament. However, their run would be a lot shorter than expected, as they would lose to Larry Drew in Missouri in their first game. Kelly had 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists, but he shot 9 for 20. Kelly, Orlando, and Tracy Jackson formed a nice senior trio for the Fighting Irish in 1980. Kelly again averaged 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists on 55% shooting. He finished 6th in the nation in scoring and 3rd in free throws made, earning another second-team All-America spot. Notre Dame finished 23-6, facing Linton Jones and James Madison in their first game of the tournament. Kelly had a bad shooting game as he shot 3 for 11, but he had 13 13 points and 5 assists in a 9-point win. The next game was against Danny Ainge and BYU. The Irish lost by 1 point as Kelly had 14 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists on 7 for 12 shooting. In 1981, the Pistons had the number 2 pick and the number 12 pick in the draft after a 21-61 season in 1980. They selected the phenom point guard from Indiana, Isiah Thomas, first, then picked Kelly with their next pick. The only real offensive threat on the team was John Long, but the new rookies would immediately make an impact. Kelly would start immediately as he put up 15 points on 4 rebounds on 7 of 16 shooting in his debut against Milwaukee. In the January 5th game against the 76ers, he put up 38 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals on 12 for 22 shooting in a 23-point win. The NBA took notice of his scoring as he was named an injury replacement for Dan Brownfield in the All-Star game. He and Isiah Thomas became just the 33rd and 34th rookies in NBA history to make the All-Star game. Even after the game, Kelly continued to score at an elite level. On March 12th against the Warriors, Kelly put up a season high of 49 points on 19 of 28 shooting, along with 8 rebounds and 3 steals in a 4-point win. 50 games into the season, the Pistons made a trade with Cleveland to acquire Kelly's college teammate, Bill Laimbeer, giving them an upgrade at center over Kent Benson. Kelly finished his rookie season averaging 21.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 3 assists, making the all-rookie team. Isiah averaged 17 points, 8 assists, and 2 steals, while John Long averaged 22 points a game. Bill Laimbeer averaged a double-double in his 30 games with the Pistons. Detroit's offense greatly improved from last season, as they ranked 6th in scoring and 2nd in pace, but they were near the bottom on the defensive end, so they finished 39-43, missing the playoffs. In 1982, the Pistons drafted Cliff Levingston and Ricky Pierce. Kelly would have the best season of his career as Isiah Thomas established himself as one of the best point guards in the league. In the second game of the season, Kelly lit up the Pacers for 37, 5, and 5 and 12 for 23 shooting. 2 weeks later, he had back-to-back 30-point games against the Knicks and the Sixers. In the January 29th game against the Bulls, Kelly scored his career high of 56 points with 6 rebounds and 4 assists on 18 of 26 shooting. He scored 40 the next game against the Pacers, but Kelly also showed that he could play make at a high level as well, making the Pistons' fast-paced offense fun to watch. On February 24th against the Hawks, he had 21 points and a career-high 11 assists. Kelly would lead the league in minutes this season at almost 39 a game. He was also in the top 20 for three-pointers made at 14, an obvious sign of the times. In the midst of his success, Kelly would suffer from a few injuries, only playing in 58 games. He would finish 3rd in the league in scoring at 26.5 points a game, along with 4.5 rebounds and 4 assists. Isiah Thomas averaged 22 points and 8 assists, along with 2.5 steals, making another All-Star appearance, along with the second-team All-NBA. Bill Laimbeer would make his first All-Star game averaging a double-double. Terry Tyler, Vinnie Johnson, and John Young contributed double figures, but the Pistons' defense was still subpar, so they finished 37-45, missing the playoffs again. In 1983, the Pistons fired coach Scotty Robertson and hired Chuck Daly, as Kelly continued his elite offensive display with 26, 30, and 39 in the first 3 games of the season. He scored a season-high 44 points in the win against the Cavaliers, finishing the season averaging 21 points a game. Isiah Thomas averaged 21 points and 11 assists, as Laimbeer averaged 17 and 12. Isiah, Bill, and Kelly all made the All-Star game, while the Pistons had the 3rd best offense in the league, and they were actually winning games this season. They finished 49-33, making the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, facing the New York Knicks. In his first playoff game, Kelly scored 26 points along with 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, but the Pistons would lose by 1, as Bernard King dropped 36 points and 7 rebounds. The Knicks would win the series in 5 games, as King averaged 43 points and 8 rebounds. In 1984, Detroit signed former All-Star Dan Brownfield, as the veteran still provided tough defense off the bench. The injury bug would limit Kelly to only 55 games this season, as he averaged a then career-low 19 points a game. Thomas led the league in assists, while Laimbeer continued his All-Star level production. Terry Tyler was one of the best 6 men in the league, as the Pistons finished 46-36, facing the Nets in the first round. New Jersey had another king who could score the ball, Bernard's brother Albert. They also had elite defenders in Buck Williams and Michael Ray Richardson. Although the Pistons swept the Nets in 3 games, Kelly struggled, only shooting 38% for the series, with only 15 points a game. The Pistons faced the Larry Bird-led Celtics in the second round, but they would lose in 6 games as Kelly averaged 15 on 43% shooting. In 1985, the Bad Boy Pistons were starting to form as they drafted Joe Dumars and traded Dan Brownfield for Rick Mahorn. Kelly had a healthy season this year, playing in 81 games. He proved his consistent offense again this season, putting up 33 20-point games, 10 30-point games, and a season-high 41 points on 17 of 26 shooting, including 3 for 4 from 3 in a win against the Bulls. Kelly averaged 20 points, while Isiah put up another 20 and 10 season, and Laimbeer led the league in rebounding. Vinnie Johnson also provided consistent offense off the bench as Detroit finished 46 and 36, facing Dominique's Hawks in the first round. Kelly had a decent performance in Game 1 with 19, 6, and 6, but Detroit lost by 18. However, he only scored 11 points on 4 for 12 in Game 2, another loss. He would bounce back in Game 3 with 33 points as the Pistons won by 9. Kelly put up 24 points and 8 rebounds in Game 4, but he shot 11 for 27 and turned the ball over 7 times, as Detroit lost by 1 in double overtime as Dominique scored 38 points and Doc Rivers recorded a triple-double. As 1986 rolled around, the Pistons took the chance to trade for the best scorer in the league at the time, Adrian Dantley, who had averaged 30 points a game last season. Kelly was sent to the Utah Jazz along with Kent Benson. The Jazz were led by second-year forward Karl Malone, along with Mark Eaton, the best shot blocker in the league. They had a decent backcourt with Ricky Green and Bob Hansen, along with bench pieces in Thurl Bailey, Darrell Griffith, and a young John Stockton. Kelly clashed with head coach Frank Layden over his involvement in the offense, as Layden was seeing the beginnings of an unstoppable pick-and-roll tandem in Stockton and Malone, which meant fewer shot attempts for Kelly. Although he was the starting small forward, he played the fewest minutes of his career in only 24 a game. The lack of playing time stifled his production as he only averaged 10 points a game. The Jazz were still an elite defensive team with Mark Eaton down low, who led the league with over 4 blocks a game. Malone averaged 22 and 10 as the Jazz finished 44 and 38, facing off against the Golden State Warriors in the first round. The Warriors had a solid core featuring Sleepy Floyd, Joe Barry Carroll, Purvis Short, and Chris Mullin. Utah would lose in 5 games as the rift between Layden and Kelly continued. Although he started every game, he only played about 14 minutes a game, as Thurl Bailey played most of the small forward minutes. Kelly only averaged 6 points a game this series. 1987 was Kelly's worst in terms of injury, only playing in 49 games. In his absence, Stockton became the starting point guard, leading the league in assists, while Mark led the league in blocks again. Thurl Bailey was the runner-up for Sixth Man of the Year, and Malone averaged a dominant 27 points and 12 rebounds. In the games Kelly did play, he became more of a three-point shooter, as almost 25% of his shot attempts came from behind the arc. The Jazz had a top 5 defense, finishing 47 and 35, facing the Trailblazers in the first round, who were led by Clyde Drexler and Kevin Duckworth. The Jazz would win in 4 games, but they would lose in 7 to the Showtime Lakers in the second round. In 1988, the Jazz decided to part ways with Kelly, trading him to the expansion Charlotte Hornets. Charlotte was far from competing, but they had some decent young talent in Rex Chapman, Muggsy Bogues, and Del Curry. Kelly would assume the starting small forward again and revert back to his original form, putting up 22 points a game, his highest average since his sophomore season. His best game of the season was a 40-point, 5 rebound, 9 assists, and 4 steal effort against the Spurs. Rex Chapman had a nice rookie season with 17 points a game, but the Hornets were near the bottom of the league in both offense and defense, finishing with the second worst record at 20 and 62. In 1989, the Hornets traded for Armin Gilliam, an offensive-minded big, while Muggsy Bogues assumed the starting point guard role. They also drafted J.R. Reed 5th overall out of North Carolina. Kelly would start again, but he would have the most inefficient season of his career, shooting a career-low 43%. Kelly averaged 16 points a game as the Hornets continued to struggle. On the bright side, Gilliam had a stellar season, averaging 19 and 9, while Muggsy was 4th in the league in assists, but Charlotte finished 19 and 63. 1990 would see Kelly come off the bench for the first time in his career, as the Hornets drafted Kendall Gill and signed Johnny Newman in free agency. These two wings cut heavily into Kelly's minutes, as he only averaged 17 a game. Kelly's best game of the season was a 23-point, 7 rebound, and 3 assist showing in a loss to the Lakers. Kelly would average a career-low 7 points a game this season. The Hornets had their most successful season to this point, but they only finished with a 26 and 56 record. During the offseason, Kelly went unsigned, so he went overseas, signing with the French club CSB Limoges, where he averaged 18 points a game. Kelly would retire after this season at the age of 32. Kelly averaged 17 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists for his career, as was a 2-time All-Star and a member of the 1981 All-Rookie team. Kelly still shares the record for the most points scored in a debut road playoff game with 40. After basketball, he was a color commentator for the Pistons, Knicks, and Nets. His son Travis formerly played in the NFL for the Rams and Jets. Kelly Tripucka was one of the best scorers in the league when he was on. He had a wide range of offensive moves and put in the effort on the glass. He could show some playmaking at times and play respectable defense. Although he struggled with injuries at times, Kelly had a very solid career and he flew under the radar as an above-average offensive player in an era with some of the best scoring wings in NBA history. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys. Really appreciate all the support. This is something I've always wanted to do, so I really appreciate you guys for supporting these videos. Thank you. Please be safe, stay on the grind. Have a great day. I'm out. Peace.